Okay, so going into our weekly character review. If you're just kind of skipping ahead, joining us for the character review or coming into it, just watching this on YouTube, we are taking a look at Crossbones this week. So, looking at Crossbones, Brock Rumlow. He's a 6 stamina, healthy side, small mover, size 2, 3 threat. He's 4 physical, 2 energy, 2 mystic. He has your basic 5 dice strike attack. And then he has a range 3, 2 power cost, overpower attack, which is 5 dice. After it's resolved, he gets a place within 1. And it has a wild throw on size 2 characters. He has a 4 power cost Haymaker. Superpower that adds 3 dice to his next attack roll. And then he has a 1 power cost Inert to Pain. This character would suffer damage. It may use a superpower, reduce the amount of damage suffered by 1. There is no minimum to that, so it can go to 0. It also does not have to be from enemy effects, so he can reduce the damage from crises as well. And then he has aggressive. So after targeting this character is resolved, this character suffered damage. It may advance short toward the attacking character. Then the only change he has is he goes down to 5 health on his injured side. He is Cabal and Criminal Syndicate affiliated. And before we actually kind of discuss him, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the cards and a special kind of ability that he has with another model in this game. So really quick looking at Illicit Tech. It's a tactics card only him or Sin can bring. It's a range 5, 6 dice energy attack. And it is active, so during his activation he may spend 1 power. He gets to use this attack. The big thing on this card, or one of them, is that he gets power equal to damage dealt. And after it's resolved, enemy characters within 2 gain Incinerate, as well as the target character. And they can only have dice added. This attack can only have dice added to the attack roll from crit results, and you can't modify the dice of it. So you can't really buff this attack. But it's a 6 dice, range 5, that gives him gives out Incinerate and gives him power. So this is a pretty good card. Then there's another card that he can take, Call to Ash and Cinder. Essentially, you pay 2 power in activation. You can put a bomb within 3 of the character, and then any characters within 2 of it during the cleanup phase gain stun and take suffer 2 damage. It also destroys terrain size 3, but essentially you pay 2 power at the start of the round. You drop this bomb, and then anybody within 2 of it in the cleanup gains stun, and then they suffer 2 damage. So I don't think a lot of people are very hot on this card because it gives your opponent a whole time to react, and you can put it on an objective and kind of scare people off of it, but your people don't really want to be over there either, so I don't know. I don't think it sees a whole lot of play. I think it has seen some play. It is neat, but it's extremely hard to use, so I don't know that you ever really take this in a 5, but so the special ability that Crossbones has is he has the same thing as it's similar to husband and wife, and it's on Sin's card. So for Sin, whenever she activates, if Crossbones is within, I believe it's range 4. Let me actually pull up her
It
card
it
really
is
quick.
range 4.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pull up her card so I can show it on the stream there. Okay. It partners in crime, so it's reactive at the end of this character's activation. If it is within 4 of allied crossbones, this character may use a superpower. If the allied crossbones does not have an activated token, he may activate before your turn ends. So husband and wife does cost 1 power, but the thing about husband and wife is that it can go either way. So you can activate Corvus first and Proxima, or you can activate Proxima and then Corvus. This one you specifically have to have Sin, and she has to go first, and then after that crossbones can activate. So chances are you're probably playing both of them if you're bringing crossbones. I mean, maybe not always, but I think if you are playing Sin, you're 100% of the time bringing crossbones. So definitely need to talk about that kind of interaction there before we get into crossbones, because that does feed in a little bit, I think, into how he gets rated. But um, I don't usually start, so I think I'll maybe I'll start this time, and then we'll kind of pass it around. Um, I mean, he's okay. He's not the best. Uh, he doesn't really get splashed anywhere. 4-2-2 is not the greatest, but I mean he's only 3 threat, so and a majority of the attacks in the game are physical, so I guess I'd rather have maybe 4-2-2 than 3-3-3. Like maybe it's better. I think it's kind of
No, you wouldn't.
you would rather have 4-2-2 than 3-3-3.
You wouldn't. I'm saying you wouldn't because I feel like you'd always want 3-3-3 over 4-2-2.
I don't know. I think sometimes I'd rather have 4-2-2. I think 3-3-3 is probably better, but 4-2-2 with an Erd to Pain. I mean I think on a 3 threat model it's a fine stat line. It's not like anything to write home about, but it's all right. Um, yeah, I mean 6 dam on his healthy side is fine. Overpower is actually really good. Haymaker costing 4, it's pretty shit. And Erd to Pain is an amazing ability, so he's got some okay things on his card. I think that he had. We kind of talked about this a little bit last night. I think he had a decent spot. I think Brandon brought this up right when Criminal Syndicate kind of got some new stuff for him. He kind of just got edged out. I think some of the newer models just kind of forced him out. He was good there for a little bit, but I don't know. He's very middle low tier, I think, in the grand scheme of things. We'll throw it over to you, Brandon. What do you think?
Uh, I mean, cr- so the thing is with Crossbones, you just don't attack him. And then he does nothing the entire game because he can never catch up to the fight unless you're playing like an E. So in any scenario you're not playing an E, he's borderline unplayable because he can't ever catch up to anything. He
Well,
never has power to do anything.
so okay, so you can get him in there actually pretty reliably, but you have to take illicit tech. And like I've played him before, it's a little dicey, but you can short move up after somebody is on the mid line. And there's usually always an extract or a secure or something, like at least one on mid line. So you put him directly across from the mid line. He, you can do one short advance. You can play illicit tech. You can shoot. You're essentially hoping that you generate some power off of it. The more power, the better. And then next turn, you are able to move and overpower. And then after that, you're in the middle. So like you can do stuff, but so he gets there. He gets there round 2, and he will have made a couple attacks.
Yeah, and then he's stuck in the middle. I mean, illicit tech's the best thing about him.
Illicit Tech is very very strong. It's a very very strong card.
So now you're playing a well below average 3 point model, and you lose a tactic spot because of that well below average 3 point model.
I don't know that you're losing at tactics a lot. I think if you're playing Cabal especially, I think if you are taking him specifically in Cabal, I think that
I
he.
mean, if you're playing Cabal, you've already messed up.
Oh.
Ha! Got him. I. It's just like I said, if you just ignore him and like, I mean, if he gets a 6 dice attack, I mean, and illicit attack's only 6 dice, so like he gets a 6 dice attack. Even if he gets 2 power, like, cool. So now he's done, and then now if he's not in the middle, if there's only say it's a box, so say it's a B and everything's people. There's 2 setups and there's like an F, and he's in the middle, and everyone's on the sides. Now he would have to spend his second turn to get to either other side, and then it's now you're on turn 3. He has 3 power, and he can't do a whole lot. I mean, overpower's not that great of an attack. I mean, 5 dice to hit a wild. I mean, it's decent percentage, but like as everyone who's played this game knows, you're gonna whiff on that wild a lot. And if he uses his only power, whiffs on that, now you're going into turn 4, and the game's probably close to over in a lot of scenarios because now you have a model who's just not done anything. Because Haymaker is a useless ability.
It's
I mean,
not.
I guess if
I
you get
mean,
to use it,
he
but
doesn't
like,
have a lot to spend power on. Like, I think it's one of those things where you typically like, if you roll really hot on your illicit tech, then he'll be loaded up on power, or like the turn after you flip him, which is for most characters, the turn after you flip him, if you get to go with him,
I just don't
then
think you ever attack him. Every time I've played him, he's never been attacked. I've played him probably 10 times, and he's never at any point ever had someone. No one's ever attacked him. So I think everyone knows that if you just don't attack him, he just muddles the whole game.
well, if you put him in a position to make your opponent have to deal with him, like unless they have pushes or throws or something like that, then I don't know. Like you can put him in a spot where they have to do something with him, but
I
well,
mean,
we'll hand it
can
off.
you?
Yeah, we'll hand it off to you for a second, Brad. What are your thoughts? Let you get in here.
I think he's dog shit.
That's yeah, yeah, that's
I
fair.
think he is the worst 3-pointer in the game. I cannot think of anyone I would take him over. And I think that even taking illicit tech is a waste of a tactics card slot. Tactics cards are too good now to spend one to make a dog shit model kind of okay.
Yeah, I feel like even with Alyssa Tech, he's such a like a C minus character, and that's a lot of investment for mediocrity.
The only thing that I would, which we'll get to this later, I don't know that he's the worst. I think Viper is probably the worst.
Oh, I forgot she even exists.
Yeah,
But let me take a look at Viper real quick.
yeah.
Because I bet I could find more I like about
Oh God,
Viper.
yeah, I already like. I mean, Viper moves long, has better
She has
defense,
that
has way better
teleport.
attacks, a teleport. She
I
has
don't,
stealth.
I don't like her.
I mean, I
Stealth,
don't
a
think she's
teleport.
great, but compared to Crossbow,
No, I think that
She has the
the
she has
worst
that
thing about
martial
her,
prowess ability.
she only has one affiliation. Is probably the worst thing about her.
she only has one
She has range 3
affiliation.
attacks.
She gives out slow and stun and
Her
poison.
defenses are better.
She gives that slow stun and poison on wilds on five, right? Are the 5 dice attacks? There's one of them a little bit higher.
Poison on her builder, stun on her gain of power, and then her spender has slow and stun.
I don't know. I hate
So
Viper. I don't
this
like
is the
her at
thing.
all.
I
I
I
think
don't
you can
I
directly
don't
compare the two, and I think Viper is almost. She has one less health. She moves long and has stealth. She has better defenses, and she has better attacks. Because the thing you really like about Crossbones is their place. She has a place too, and a teleport.
No, that's not
So
the
you
thing I
get
really like about Crossbones. The thing I like about Crossbones is unfortunately like it is like a six. I guess I'm coming at it from like if I play Crossbones, I'm probably also bringing Sin. And the thing
yeah,
with
the skin's
that,
not good.
I think the Sin's okay. Like I've done work with Sin before. I
So now
think
you're pigeonholed into two
oh
mediocre
wait, wait.
3-point models.
yeah. I mean yeah, kinda. But
And you
illicit
have to activate Sin first.
illicit tech's a good card, and he
I do think
he's
Illicit Tech's a good card.
he's more durable than Viper, I think. And
Who cares if he doesn't do anything?
he can do stuff, and you have seen him do stuff before. Like I've played games, and he's done really good work. Like I think you guys are underselling what he can do. I'm not saying, oh my God, he's the best three. Like he just does so much every time. No, no, he doesn't. But
Hold on, I have to fulfill an obligation. Fred wanted everyone to know that he's blown up more of his stuff with Two Ash and Cinder than opponent stuff. He
yeah,
That's
wasn't able to
playing.
join us tonight, but he did want the entire internet to know that for some reason.
there
He
is a
really needs to
reason.
understand that he shouldn't play to Ash and Thunder.
There is a reason why we're not talking about that card, and we're only talking about illicit tech.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're right. We're not
I
talking.
do think
We're not talking
Crossbones
about
can
who's the
do
worst
stuff,
three
but
threat.
I think your opponent has to mess up for Crossbones to be good.
I will slightly disagree, only because I have put crossbones on the table a few times,
But you
and
also you have like loaded dice and roll like 8 hits on like 2 dice, so like
I
it's a
have
little bit
also
different.
put him on the table, and so has Brandon.
has Brandon? Have you played him?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
I'm the only one. I have like multiple recorded videos on this channel with Crossbones on the table.
What? I didn't know that.
He Yeah, he was in my Criminal Syndicate. I played that TTS tournament with him in my roster too.
Yeah, whenever you play that TTS tournament, all you were ever playing was Ghost Rider and Ultron, so it's hard for me to remember
That
you
was
playing Crossbones.
that was fun. That was a
Yeah,
good time.
yeah. Well, yeah, so, I mean, I think if you take the package as a whole, it's very middling low tier. If you're looking at
So the worst
Crossbones.
part of that is the same for you.
The what?
You said the package is like middling to low tier. Oh, I guess I was thinking you were saying like Sin, Crossbones, and like illicit tech. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that package middling to low tier, but you'd also said that Crossbones by himself was middling to low tier, and he's the worst part of that package.
Well, I mean,
Like substantially the worst part of that package.
I'm, yeah. I mean, well, I guess I don't ever view him as just him. I need to get out of that mindset, I guess.
I
But
mean, Sin and Crossbones together is probably the worst 6 point character in the game.
the best thing they give for you is prio control. And
So does playing a six
that's,
point character.
I mean, so is playing all according to plan. So,
I
True.
did, like I said, and I will say that again for the world. I do think there was a spot for Crossbones in Criminal Syndicate until they released Hood and Mysterio and Craven, and then now Shadowland Daredevil and Black Cat. Oh, Black Cat was before that, but then Shadowland Daredevil, and that all did come out. And besides Shadowland Daredevil, the rest of that all came out within what 6 months of each other.
yeah.
I don't know if he's playable at all in Criminal Syndicate. Like, I mean, I guess you can, but like, I just don't think it's good. I think it's hard to fit in illicit tech into your tactics cards, especially now with Cruel Tutelage. Um, as another Criminal Syndicate card you really want to take.
I think the thing before was that, like I said, you have to take Crossbones and you're probably taking Sin. And now there's so many good Criminal Syndicate models that, like, you just don't even look at those two as options anymore, really.
Yeah,
Like,
if for some reason you want to play Sin Cabal, sure, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, we're mostly talking about Criminal Syndicate. Now, in Cabal, I think that he has a place in Sin Cabal. Because she always wants to go super wide. It helps her if she tries to get prio, it can help her with that. So if you're playing Cabal, then I think that Crossbones, specifically with Sin, I don't think he doesn't have a spot at all with Red Skull, but
Yeah,
I
like Sin
think.
Cabal's fine if you like to eat Play-Doh.
But yeah, I don't think that there's a whole lot I can look at to kind of like save him. I'm trying to find like the best parts about him, and I mean, there's not many. But
I honestly, I think I would rather his Inured to Pain just be a static reduced to a minimum of one. Um, just because his power economy's dog shit.
uh, I don't know. The having the same one as Kingpin is pretty strong. Like you don't take the damage from Gamma, you don't take the damage from cubes, but
But you're
uh,
attacking Kingpin.
yeah.
And Kingpin's on a medium-sized base. Like there are a lot of little tweaks to Crossbones where I think he would be a lot better. Like if he just had the exact same card, had a median move, he'd be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I
If he had
think
the
overall that's where a
exact
lot of
same
people
power,
sit. Yeah.
if overpower just cost one power, it'd be a lot better if that was the only change. Haymaker should just be literally, I think, anything else. But if it cost even, it would have to cost two power for nothing else to change for it to
You know what? I
decently
actually
play.
what might be better instead of this is if he had the same shit that Black Dwarf had, where he
What do
like
you mean, like the whole package? Because
it's like three
Sherlock had
no it's like three power. He makes a move, and
all
then the
the
next
if
attack
yeah,
action he makes, he adds 3 dice.
yeah, no,
Uh,
I think that would be substantially better.
the bad version of Juggernaut's ability.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it's on a three threat model, right? So I think that's fair for him to have the bad version. So I think
Yeah,
something like that, like a medium move, and then you just make it to where like
I think if you, I mean, I think that you'd have to change something else. If you gave him the medium move and that, I think he's good. Like I think he's, I mean, probably a B minus to a C plus.
no, he's still probably C. And the reason that he's C is
No, I'm
Are
because
saying
we
that if
on
you
to
made
the
all of
grading
those
part?
changes.
yeah, no, even if you made all the changes, he's still probably just like a decent like
Medium
C.
move, overpower costs 1 power, and
I
then you get the
just
Black Dwarf
I don't
charge.
think that anything over here like I think Criminal Syndicate specifically
I
is
meant to say all threes on defense too. I forgot about
oh
that.
no, I think 422 is fine.
I don't.
Uh
Disagree.
but if you I think even if you do all that, he's still just like still just straight mid tier because I don't know that like Criminal Syndicate has so many good options now that I like he definitely you don't splash him and then I think that they have so much that you still just don't look at him because
I love
everything
how
is
I
so much
flipped
better.
Jared on this. So
You did what?
I love how I flipped Jared on this argument so quick.
You didn't flip me on it. I've
You
always
were
just said
defending him
he's
so much,
middling.
now you're just like, nope, he sucks.
No, I'm not defending him. I'm just trying to find the positive stuff on his card instead of just being straight like this guy's dog shit. Don't take him. I'm trying to.
You just said if we made 5 changes to the card, he would
I
still
have
be.
I have a nice thing to say about Crossbones.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
He's easy to paint.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you're true.
He wasn't too hard to put together either.
No.
Honestly, I kind of just wish he was on a medium base. That would be my 6th change if he had a medium base.
I think that then you leave the move small,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If he's medium base, you could leave it small.
Oh
But
yeah,
small move, small base is so fucking. It's so rough.
yeah. That's another thing too. Is a
So
bunch of
you guys rated the changed version of him. You want to rate him how he is now?
Dog shit. Put it on the scale.
yeah. Go ahead, Brandon. Give us your scale.
He's a D.
Yeah, D plus.
Huh, that's interesting. So the viewers at home don't know that you guys had a conversation about him last night where Jared gave him a C
Garrett did give him a C.
Yeah, I'm down to a D.
and I believe Brandon gave him a C minus.
I was at a C minus until I looked at his card again.
And I did not participate in this conversation because I wanted I was knew I was probably going to give him a D at the time and I wanted to save that for radio. But after our discussion, I'm going straight up F. I think
F.
he's that bad.
Our first F of the
Yeah.
podcast. All right.
I
I
I,
think he's an F.
I can see it because I don't know a scenario where you play him that he's good. Like the argument was that he want like you play him in like Sin Cabal, but I'm not even super sure. I mean, if you're playing Sin Cabal, like he's probably your 6th best option.
No, and the only reason I say that is because of the husband and wife thing. I don't think that he's like the last thing that you grab. If you play Sin Cabal, she just wants like 2 or 3 threat models and just a ton of them.
And it really doesn't matter what they are.
Nah, like at that point it doesn't. Like it does help.
Which is good because
Or dog shit.
So all right, so we have 2 Ds and an F. What is that? Does that bring it to like a D minus or an E plus or something?
an E.
An
Yes,
E.
it's an E.
All right, so pretty down on Crossbones.
I do believe that in the core set you get Cabal got the best model in the core set and the worst model in the core set. So.
Mm,
I think that's
we
probably
haven't talked about that best model yet, so
I think that's probably a fair assessment.
I think they got the best 2 models, and that's how bad Crossbones is. It's because they needed to give them the best 2 models for that to be good. They knew when they designed that card it wasn't very good.
What's the others?
is
What's the other 2 mod? Like what's the second model?
Ultron, right?
Ultron, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
New
Ultron's second
Ultron.
best. Yeah, updated Ultrons. Yeah. Cabal really got the shaft in the core box before updates.
all right.
Because
Well, um, I would not like normally at this part of the podcast we would give you guys kind of like a core starting set. If you're wanting to play with Crossbones.
But the answer is don't.
No, I mean you want to. We're gonna give them something. Pretty much what I would recommend is if you do want to play Crossbones and you have the core set. So maybe if you're newer to the game, you got your core set. You have Red Skull. I would recommend picking up the Sin and Viper box, and then after you do that, you actually have a pretty good spread of cheaper Cabal affiliated models. And he is like if you play Sin, he goes with Sin very well. And like I said, Illicit Tech is a good card. So if you're wanting to play that, that's probably Sin, Crossbones, and then you can just fill your roster out essentially with Illicit Tech and then cheap Cabal affiliated models. Or you can fit in a couple cheap unaffiliated models, kind of like Tote or Bullseye. Bring those, and then for secures and extracts, you want stuff that is
Bullseye is affiliated.
with oh, that's right, with Cabal. So there you go. So Sin, Crossbones, Cabal. You can bring Viper, and then for secures and
It's a
extracts.
great start to a list.
Yeah, so good. I think
Viper, the model he said was the only model in the game worse than Crossbones.
yeah, I mean that's I'm gonna throw in the same trash can of Sin Cabal with Crossbones. Um, but she likes to play stuff like Cubes, which also comes in the core set. Riot Sparks is a good one, which also comes in the core set. Spider Infected is another good one, which that's core set, right? Yeah, all the 17s
Yeah.
are core set. Yeah, so I really like you can play if you like Crossbones. Want to play with them? Really, the core set and then just the Sin box is what I would recommend. And then you have a good spread of crises that she really likes to play. You'll have the Tactics card that she really likes to play. So that's probably where I would start. I'm gonna assume you guys don't have any kind of recommendations, probably. So,
I do.
oh jeez.
I came prepared. No, it's I mean if say you got in the game a year ago, like before a year, and you had everything up to like a year ago, you can successfully and very well play Criminal Syndicate with Crossbones as a mainstay in that roster, with a core of Crossbones, Kingpin, Omega Red, and it's tough because they all move small, but they're all reducing. Bullseye also got their Bullseye in there, and some of the earlier models like Killmonger, uh, and you play like Taskmaster. So you can stay affiliated and you can play some of those older models, and Criminal Syndicate is still really, really good, and it's only got better with better secures that have came out for it. You really want to play Research Station as your extract. Alien Ship's also another one because you can play Black Cap. You get to play Terrigen Clouds, Mayor Fist vows to find missing witnesses, and Superpower Scoundrels. All of which you can just win by getting them up there and just sitting them on a point. Character like Lizard fits in really well with them as unaffiliated. I'm a personal lover of Black Dwarf and Criminal Syndicate. And I mean that's a solid roster, and you can play, and you get to play Crossbones, and I mean he was good in that. Like he was an integral part of Criminal Syndicate before they got all the hot toys.
That is the thing that sucks, man. It's just like you got Crossbones, but Lizard exists. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And that was one I didn't even mention of affiliated. Like it's hard if you have if you have 3 points left and you're already like guaranteed to be affiliated, and you're looking at a Lizard and you're looking at a Crossbones. But if playing a list of all your characters reducing damage by 1 with a good health pool, like, I mean, Criminal Syndicate, even if you're attacking them, like they can sometimes just survive long enough to win games.
Yeah.
Like if you play Superpower Scoundrels and you can get on all 5 points plus a couple extracts if they're playing some extra, if it's
You're
not
not
like,
getting on all 5 points at least first turn in the list you just said.
yeah, it's true.
The slow boys are not getting to the other side.
That's true. They're not quite getting there. You gotta play a long mover. You can play Viper, she'll get you there. But just in general, but even if you get 4 of them and then say you get 2 points off extracts, if you can get 6 points for the first 2 points, going up, getting 12 points in the first 2 points puts you in a real good spot going into turn 3. And I mean, sometimes they can just survive long enough. And if you're playing against a lot of physical attacks, he might be able. I mean, he's going to only really be on the back point, but you can get an illicit tech off, and he won't feel like the worst thing in the world if you win. If you lose, you'll probably blame him because he didn't do anything, because he never does anything. He just fucking stands there and tries to play fucking catch up the whole time. And if you're playing someone who's just like, fuck Crossbones, and they attack him, and then it's like a win-win, because then you get aggressive. But, I mean, they're not going to do that. They'll read his card, and then never remember that he's on the battlefield the rest of the game. Yeah, I mean, but that's probably the best place to play him. I think that's where you'll have the most success if you just love Crossbones, if you just watched the MCU and you were like, man, I love Crossbones.
Oh yeah, you watched it and you love the 30 seconds he was actually Crossbones in the MCU.
Yeah, if you love the 30 seconds before he blew up, that he was Crossbones. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really kind of the best place to play him is just kind of play a super tanky list. Hope you outscore your opponents before you die.
All right.
Just know that you should upgrade him.
Well, so there are some starting points for you if you're wanting to play Crossbones. So we'll kind of move on to our last segment here, which is a comic book where you can find him if you're interested in the character. So, what do you have for this? What do you have for us this week, Brad?
Okay, so unlike the model, Crossbones in the comic is not incompetent. Um, so I've got 2 recommendations here to see him. Um, well, in both, he puts a beat down on Captain America. So the first one is Captain America 360 through 364. That's by Mark Grunwald and Kieran Dwyer. This is his first appearance, and he's of course fighting Captain America in the Captain America comic. And this is a very good primer on who Crossbones is. And who he is somebody who's never even heard of a fair fight. Before he fights Captain America, he sets up booby traps all over the place and then fights them into the booby traps.
Okay.
It seems like a cool story. I'll probably actually read it because it sounded like fun.
Now he's just jacked up on super soldier serum in the comics, right?
I don't think so. And he uses guns a lot more than his MCP card would seem to
It's
show.
not necessarily. I don't think it's super soldier serum, but he was like.
I thought he was juiced up on something.
Yeah, he's
He might be.
advanced, but I don't think it's like a super soldier serum. Like I think it was like Hydra's, like it was like an attempt at like a super soldier like knockoff that just kind of helped him be advanced, but he's also like has a lot of other issues, like. But he also was a like soldier, so he does a lot of like soldier stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it till now, but I should have found a comic where him and Sin are together and recommended that. But I didn't do
doubt
that.
Sin really even wants to be with him after she saw his MCP card.
Fair enough.
Now, does he ever have gear on him like he does in the MCU, or is that strictly something they put in for the MCU?
Oh, like
the little piston gauntlets and stuff.
He punches with his actual fists.
Okay.
Or shoots with a gun. The second is one where he does show his gun techniques. In the Death of Captain America, this is right after Civil War, by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting. So Captain America surrenders at the end of Civil War, spoilers, and is taken into custody by S.H.I.E.L.D. While he's being escorted, Crossbones shoots him with a sniper rifle.
Oh.
From like across the street.
Bold move.
Which he does often in the comics.
He does not kill Steve there.
Not that
with that
yeah.
shot. Steve does die. in this scene. But Crossbones is not the one to kill him, but I'm not going to say who does because that's like a big reveal in the arc. But Ed Brubaker's run, it's highly regarded. People love it. And this is probably the most important Crossbones has ever been because I mean he shot Captain America presumably to death. So he's a big player in this.
He's very Punisher-esque in the comics, isn't
Except
but like
like
organized, like not organized, but like works for somebody.
yeah, he works for somebody and he doesn't really care who he kills.
Yeah,
He
that's
has
what I
no
meant.
moral
He's kind of
compass.
he's like Punisher if he's Hydra's Punisher.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually a pretty good way of seeing them. And they both got that skull motif going on.
Yeah, which I feel like Punisher wouldn't take too kindly of.
I wonder if they've ever met.
I don't know. It's a good question.
All right. Well, what year did that run come out? Do you know? Is it an older run or
The
newer? The second one.
the second one, it's post 2000 sometime, so it's fairly new. I just don't remember what year Civil War was.
And these are probably, I'm gonna guess, they're all on Marvel Unlimited, right?
Yeah, these are all on Marvel Unlimited.
All right. Well, I think that wraps us up for this week. Thank you guys for joining us and hanging out with us for a little bit, talk about Crossbones. If you have anything that you want to comment, if you like them, maybe you've seen some success that we haven't before.
You can yell at me.
If you, yeah, you can scream at Brandon, I guess, for saying he's dog shit. Um,
I didn't
feel,
give him an F though. Just remember.
that is
I
true.
said he was dog shit before Brandon did.
Brad sniped him from across the street there. is what
I
Brad did.
Heyo.
Yeah, feel free to leave us a comment and let us know what you guys think about Crossbones. Where would you put them on a ranking scale for yourself? And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. Bye.